Joining us now is independent journalist Brittney Hopper. Brittney, thank you so much for your time, especially today, because as we know, today marks 2 years since the horrific October 7 terrorist attack against Israel, where Hamas terrorists murdered around 1,200 people, took hundreds of innocent people hostage. And as we know, 48 hostages are still in the Gaza Strip. Sadly, not all of them are alive, and our hearts are certainly with all the people of Israel today and all of our Jewish friends around the world. Could I get your reflections 2 years on from October 7, 2023?
I mean, I can't believe that the war is still going on, but at the same time, I can believe it because this was the bloodiest day in Israel's history. This was also the deadliest day for Jews since the Holocaust. So naturally, this charged a full-blown war in what we've been seeing for the past 2 years. And it's also caused a rise in anti-Semitism. It's also um, a lot of things. And we still have, like you mentioned, 45 hostages, dead or alive, being held captive. 2 years later, this is still going on. When I think that had Hamas released the hostages, we could have seen this war ended months, if not year ago. But this is still ongoing, and God willing, as a Jewish American woman who is a proud Zionist, I pray every day that this war ends soon and we find some peace over there. But it's really difficult to establish peace with people who literally want every single Jewish person and Israeli dead in this world, and including Israel, the country, to not exist. So it's tough. It's tough to even say, let's find peace, but
Yeah.
Do at some point.
Can I get your thoughts on Trump's peace plan? A Qatari foreign ministry spokesperson has said that there are still many details that need to be worked out on Trump's plan for the Gaza Strip. And of course, the deal would see Israel receive all hostages back after 2 years of being kept in terror tunnels. And the Palestinian terror group Hamas would step down from leadership, and a number of Palestinian security prisoners would be released. Now, indirect peace talks between Hamas and Israel have continued for a second day in Egypt. Brittney, are you feeling cautiously optimistic? What's your assessment?
So keep in mind that this has been ongoing for generations, decades, right? And we've seen Hamas turn down peace deal after peace deal after peace deal for years, well before October 7th happened in this war. So I'm not that optimistic because, again, we are dealing with a terrorist organization that it's not only the Jews, quite frankly, anyone who isn't radical Islamist, they want dead. And they can't coexist with anyone else. So it's tough to say, will peace happen? I think first and foremost, we need to get the hostages back, dead or alive, dead and alive, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
We need to get those hostages back. If there can be some peace, I think I speak for so many Jewish Zionists that I know, we all want peace. And so I hope that this peace deal, we're that much closer. I mean, it's a lot better than what we had when Biden was in office. So I do really appreciate the president trying to do something. But again, we're dealing with a side that doesn't really seem to want peace. And if they did, I don't think we would be in this position time and time again. It's really tough to find peace with a side who wants to literally abolish Israel from the map.
Yeah, it's certainly difficult to find peace with terrorists that vow to repeat October 7 again and again. And Brittney, you also mentioned the rise in anti-Semitic attacks. We've seen them here in Australia, right around the world. And there are also plenty of woke lefties protesting against Israel, many supporting Hamas, and are, of course, silent about other conflicts that are going on in the world. And the West and the world seems to have platformed people like Greta Thunberg. She's just been deported from Israel after her latest publicity stunt, and this is what she had to say.
And what Israel did was mainly not to illegally abduct us in international waters and abuse us in prison, but it was that it stopped a humanitarian mission and violating international law by preventing humanitarian aid from entering Gaza.
Oh, Brittney, it is such a joke claiming she was abducted. Can I get your reaction to this?
So I saw a really great clip of a reporter because she was going on and on about how Israel abused her. And they said, well, can you give us details on how Israel abused you guys? And what did Israel do to you? And she said, well, they were just so mean that they didn't allow me to say goodbye to my friends. I mean,
yeah.
listen, I think, it's ironic that the people out there, especially the far left, that are praising this person, this young woman, it's ludicrous to me. I mean, every time she speaks, it doesn't even make sense. She's but these are the same people, in my opinion, who were also saying the horrible things about Charlie Kirk's assassination. We have a common denominator here of a lot of these people have just lost their humanity, in my opinion. And I think this woman is very ill-informed. I mean, she tweeted something today about Gaza treating, or it was something about Gaza and how people are being mistreated, yet she posted it, and maybe it was an accident, but it was actually an Israeli hostage.
Well, there you go.
And I'm not messed up, and a lot of people were like, you posted an Israeli hostage. So I just think that she's ill-informed. I think that, she probably was given another sandwich and sent along. They did commit an illegal act, mind you. You can't go over into a foreign country. This isn't allowed, and no other country would allow this.
She was trying to break a blockade.
Right, try doing this in North Korea. But there's a part of me that wishes that Israel would just let them over in Gaza, because I would love to see what Hamas does to these white liberal people.
Wouldn't it be interesting? No, I think Greta Thunberg just is desperate for attention, and it was great to hear Donald Trump absolutely blasting Greta Thunberg, saying she needs anger management classes or something like that. But let's look at the Democrats, and of course the new face or new star of the Democratic Party is anti-Israel socialist New York City mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani. Now, he's admitted that he might need another plan to fund his $10 billion freebie-filled agenda if he can't actually hike taxes on the ultra-wealthy. Now, he's made it no secret that during his campaign from the early days that he's hoping to drum up $10 billion for his freebie-filled agenda, in part by taxing the wealthy. He pitched a 2% tax hike on New York City's millionaires and a 4.5% increase on corporations. But Brittney, I want to get your thoughts on what New York City is really in for, because we know Mamdani wants rent freezes, he wants government-run grocery stores, he wants free buses. We've heard him in the past say he doesn't believe that billionaires should just not exist. Of course, he's anti-Israel. He's previously called to defund the police. So I'm suspecting that a lot of New Yorkers will be rushing to join you in Florida, Brittney.
Right. We suspect that as well. But here's what we're forgetting. So he's a socialist. He's a known socialist. He has said it out there that he is a socialist. So this is the socialist ideologies. This is what they are all about. And I've said this time and time again, the far left liberals have hijacked the Democrat Party here in America, and their social experiment is failing. It is failing. We saw this in California. We're going to see it in New York if he gets elected. And you're going to be surprised about what I'm going to say right now, but there is a part of me that wants him to get elected only because, and one, because I don't live in New York City, but two, hopefully our country can see what will happen if an actual socialist is running the country. So he could potentially be running the largest city in this country. And I mean, there's not going to be any law and order. We are going to see so much fail that maybe the American people need to really see this happen so that we don't elect a socialist in for presidency one day, because we're headed in that direction, because the far left has absolutely hijacked the Democrat Party, in my opinion.
It certainly has. And the Democrat Party is on life support in California. Of course, Gavin Newsom's California. It's interesting looking at the figures over the last 8 months. Republicans have registered tens of thousands of new voters. Democrats have registered around 100. Look at this.
Year, there's been some changes in voter registration and with which party voters want to identify. Since February 10th, 82,000 people chose no party preference when registering to vote. There was also a jump for the Republican Party, with it gaining 48,000 voters, but Democrats only gaining 190 voters in 200 plus days.
Brittney, is it Gavin Newsom that's also turning people away?
So I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm a born and raised Californian for 40 plus years. We just moved to Florida 2 years ago because of the far left ideologies that took over California. I'm not surprised by this at all. If you live in California, if you were born and raised in California, the old California is not what it used to be. And we have firsthand the changes. It's unlivable at this point in so many ways. So I am not surprised by this whatsoever. And I don't entirely blame Gavin Newsom. It's a collective of people there that are running the show there that have just destroyed the state and so many blue cities in that state. But people are waking up because there's a lot of money in California. And look at how many multi-billionaire, billion-dollar companies have moved away from the state. So people are starting to wake up. Taxes, I mean, we paid $50,000 a year in property taxes alone to live in the Palisades, and then it goes up in flames. So I mean, there's just so many. You're living in one of the wealthiest areas in California, and you're having to step over a homeless person. Oh, excuse me, we're not supposed to say an unhoused person. So I mean, it's, you know, there's just, it's people are running amok there, and it's I think people are starting to really wake up.
100%. Now, finally, before I let you go, we've spoken about trust in the media, and it's now at a record low in the United States. And this is just one example of why that might be happening. This is how MSNBC's Nicole Wallace reports on Gavin Newsom's social media strategy. Take a look at this.
The whole notion that the right is an absolute puddle of snowflakes has been exposed by Gavin Newsom.
And this is how she reports on Donald Trump's social media.
Childish, it is crass, it is vulgar, it's of course unpresidential, it's dumb. Leader Jeffries is pictured wearing a sombrero and a fake mustache, while Schumer goes about making a fake speech he never actually said or delivered.
Brittney, I mean, how can anyone take outlets like MSNBC seriously?
I don't think they are. And I think that the proof is in the ratings. I don't think that they are. I mean, there was just a recent poll, 28% of Americans trust the media right now.
Isn't that so low, 28%? I'd also like to know who the 28% are.
Same. It's probably the far left liberals watching this.
Correct.
About the hypocrisy here. I mean, and this is why I think so many Americans are not trusting the media anymore. Also, journalists are no longer being journalists. They have become activists.
Yeah.
You know that I was on CBS News in Los Angeles for over 15 years, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. I know firsthand that my scripts had to be changed, or I had to withhold information, especially during the BLM riots and the COVID-19 pandemic. So we know that there's going to be a mistrust, because eventually, now that everyone has their cell phones and everyone's basically a journalist now, other information is going to start coming up and out. But this hypocrisy, what you just showed, the clip that you just showed, the hypocrisy of how she's congratulating Newsom, but then yet when Trump does it, he's a dictator, he's this, he's that. So people are starting to wake up. I really do believe that the proof is in the ratings. And, you know, you have these shows like The View, you have the late night talk show hosts, Jimmy Fallon and Kimmel, and they're getting 130,000 views or people watching a night. I mean, across the board, the ratings are going down, except for conservative news outlets. Now, those ratings are starting to go up.
They are going up indeed. Brittney Hopper, independent journalist, thank you so much for joining us. It was wonderful to speak to you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.